where we talk about the spiritual truth and how to utilize energy on a day-to-day basis, man. And as y'all can see, man, it's finna get deep. Because when we talk about this Superman, when we talk about these certain type of movies, you better believe they got hidden meanings behind them. And a lot of people might not understand. And it ain't a reach, trust me. When you start thinking about the media, what's mainstream, what's always being pushed, got like some type of, dynasty to it, it get deep, you know what I'm saying? Because it got actual meaning behind it. It's kind of like the Pirates of the Caribbean, Star Trek, Star Wars, all of these different type of movies that keep getting reanimated, re-shot, redone a different way, or even a part two super late in life. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, this is all these secret things that is actually pointing towards that we already living or trying to put us in the mind of the blueprint of what they're trying to create. So just like when you start thinking about even like the shows, right, that's mainstream, The Family Guy, Futurama. So it's showing you basically the future drama, the drama that's being held in the future. You got all this different type of stuff, right? But before I even get deep into the Superman thing, because this actually got something to do with the sciences we see today. So, and it's also got something to do with the same thing where you see basically someone that works as a scientist goes from being a human into Incredible Hulk. So all of these things like this, you be wondering why these animes, what they be trying to actually point at and get at, it get deep, man. Especially when you talk about even why they bring it to the realistic thing. When we talk about Superman, remember what Superman is considered as. Superman is not a human. Remember that. Superman is considered as a god. So the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because if you look at the word religion and you start breaking out the meaning of it, you see that it's basically having belief in some type of superhuman or some type of supernatural thing on like and also like sometimes you got monotheistic religions, which is like just believing in one god, and then you got Polynesia, which is ones that believe in multiple gods. So yeah, it get deep when you start thinking like that. So of course the American concept, which is mainly ruled by Christianity, will take the concept of coming the American way, which would be the Superman. You get what I'm saying? Not a whole squad, like not like a whole squad like how the Justice League was, for example. It won't be like that for them to be to the next level. That's exactly why y'all see it failed as well. So when you start thinking about just the Superman and how far that goes, it get deep. You know what I'm saying? What's good, spectator? So listen, first of all, think about it like this. If you make your mind realistic based off of the cartoons and based off of these animations and the movies that they keep pushing out, Superman, who is Superman right now? Superman would be considered as Dr. Fauci, right now as Bill Gates. You know what I'm saying? People like this, because these are the people that people is putting their trust and their belief in and trusting these systems or trusting this person to be able to make a difference. A huge difference that regular humans can't do. You get what I'm saying? So this is why they create the thing of superhumans. Thank you, Eagles, because this is why I get deep, man. And what's good, Elston? So, man, when we start thinking about these movies and what they mean, the hidden titles behind it, and all the allegories behind it, you got to remember, Superman was created as a god. It tells you this. So you kind of see the same kind of story that happens with Hercules. Anybody remember the Hercules story? Think about how it generated over time, of how it just slowly graduated towards a flying human. What Hercules couldn't do. Hercules couldn't fly, but Hercules was strong. You get what I'm saying? So we can see how they take the Babylonian gods and just take it another way up, just like Achilles. So before this, you see all of these gods that it was calling, they just put them in a movie and make it mean something different by just over animating the powers that they have, right? So you see Thor. A lot of people don't know Thor and Thursday got a lot to do with each other, right? So when the people don't understand that, of course you can make it like the god of this day, the god of that day, the god of this day, the god of that night of this day, the god. You see what I'm saying? So it starts confusing people. So people go to actually thinking that it's some type of extra being. So when you put it as in Superman, by you building faith and having people be like, okay, the only people that would be hiding external, fuck it, I'm finna say it, yeah, but bump it. Either way, the people that's adding aliens, I ain't want to say it, but either way, adding aliens and all this here, or hiding them, are the same people that's creating the movies based off of them. Because otherwise, why would they allow it to be mainstream? And then when you do see the glimpses of what they say they have, this is what it looked like. No, it's all to get you to believe in that they have some other power that you just do not have. So if I could get you to think that you don't have no power, therefore I withhold all the power. So it ain't about how the people, you know what I'm saying, is thinking individually. It's about the come together thought. So religion is actually creating that, right? It's creating a bind amongst each other thoughts. And it's a Latin thing, right? And this is what I was breaking down to people. So when you see this type of stuff going on, they have hidden meanings behind things, stuff that you wouldn't have no understanding to. So of course, when people see Hinduism, Egyptian mythology, Greek mythology, when they see all of these different things, they get confused because they don't understand. It's not talking about human-like figures. It's not anamorphizing. It's not trying to tell you, hey, Thor was an actual god that picked up a hammer. No, it's not trying to tell you Zeus was actually throwing lightning bolts. No, you got to understand the power of Zeus fall under the power of Jupiter. So when you start to understand, okay, what is Jupiter? It's not an actual planet. It's more like a power source. Now you start understanding how they play these movies and how they create the next hero. It'll always be based as the same game, bro. They just do it in a different platform. What's good, K? So that's the reason how they do it. You know what I'm saying? They got to switch it up. So when you start seeing these things, it start getting real funny. You start seeing how Superman become the guy that's supposed to save us all. So as y'all seen, they telling us, hey, trust this guy. He's giving us something that's going to heal us. But in the whole time, we were never going through a problem. So they create a narrative just to put a hero in that narrative. So if y'all don't understand, this is what a hero is in their eyes. A hero is actually a villain. So the same way they look at the colonizers or the crusaders that came to colonize, they look at those as heroes, which is people that came and took over lands that was owned naturally where we didn't have to have no rights to do something. You get what I'm saying? So they came, did that, made people fall under their ruling, or AKA their religion, regardless of whatever you think you is. So if you think you're a Christian, if you think you're a Muslim, if you think you're a Jehovah's Witness, it all falls back to the same thing. Even if you're satanic, it looks like the same thing. You get what I'm saying? It's just you looking at it from a perspective of thinking it's something different. No, Lucifer is the morning star. So if you don't understand the morning star allegory, and you think that is an actual person or an actual being, you're lost. Because you're going to think Jesus is at a certain timing of the day as well. So you'll start seeing that. So you'll start realizing that it's a divine time. And the reason why they mean that is so you have a divine feminine and masculine, you start seeing how it is. So just like I'm explaining now, right after the Superman movie, you might come back with another Wonder Woman movie. You get what I'm saying? Because they whole point, and then they'll make Wonder Woman like some type of lady that was fighting with politics and stuff, kind of like how they tried to play with Hillary, what's the name, when they was just doing the fake behind presidential debate or whatever before Trump got elected. So we see these different type of things playing out where there's no one person that could fix everybody's problem. We already know that because they're the ones creating problems for thousands and make it like this one problem getting fixed, although it's just to go along with the narrative that's being pushed. So we see them create narratives and we see how it goes. Even in the movie Transformers, right, where they basically show their hand. They show how they'll trust and build trust with someone and then turn right back around and backstab them just then and there. And it shows it. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't with us, you going against us. So even when people like me, right, well, we break down videos like this, and I've been doing this junk longer than 5 years. You'll look at the views and you'll look at everything else like 5 years. It must be something he's doing wrong. What is wrong? No, it's not that. That's a narrative that they make you create because you don't think like someone is reaching an audience. But think about this. It's stuff on here where a fly just flying and it get 2 million views, 4 million views. So you got to think about how they playing the game. They purposely pick someone to put in a position because this is the person that's like playing the horseman. This is the people that get people to get their mind off track. So now when they play games with people like the movie Superman, when they bring it back out, even a little age, young kids that didn't know who Superman was, now got to realize who Superman is. So now, as them still creating the concept in the real life of who's going to be the Superman, who's going to be the person that make a big change in life, this is how they play it out. So now when we talk about religion, what all of it got to do with it, go check out how many people was religious a couple years ago and look how it's changing over time due to these shifts. So people is getting hemmed to a lot of things, especially when your whole book, your religion itself, the word religion itself is Latin. So it has nothing to do with you if you're from America. So one thing that pissed me off about America is when you have, people that look like me, got to say it like that, and they're going so hard for a religion that's not even something that's even part of theirs at all. So they don't even know what their religion is supposed to be. So when we dealing with stuff like this, of course, they don't going to be under attack. And it's going to be like I told y'all. is like a prison person. If you look up the word religion, institutionalized come right behind it. It's literally part of the keywords of breaking it down. So when you think about institutionalized, the only way you get institutionalized if someone is telling you over and over, to forcing you to do away of things. So that's not natural. So this is something where someone had to force you to think about stuff like this in order for you to actually believe in it. Like I like to say all the time, if a baby growed up on the island, if you can't tell them Jesus is God and this and that, they don't work like that. But they might not even use the same words. But people are so lost, they will argue with words that's younger than the actual existence of their gods. But this is what we live in with right now. Like I told you guys, you got people right now saying Jesus Christ and he's the youngest of all the gods that's being mentioned. And they'll be like, no, it's because he's the powerfulest. That don't make sense. So you telling me it was a whole realms and realities multiple times before this sun even existed? You get what I'm saying? But it's the most powerfulest? Why? And then look at the world is. We got all these electronics, all these possibilities of doing things, and you telling me we still limited? How? If anything, it sounds like the most loose thing of actually contracting people in. Like I said, everything is a subscription in this life. Everything is a subscription. You know what I'm saying? And then when people think about the phone booth and thinking about calling on God, let me call on a God, and then you have Superman getting in a phone booth, switching his whole person into a super person, superhuman, and it's y'all belief system. Of course it was going to be a good movie for y'all. Of course it was going to be a good push because it give you a little small example of what Jesus Christ would do. You know what I'm saying? And that's how y'all put it. So when it come down to black people, we don't need black people or whatever talking about Jack when it come down to religious period, because it's not talking about you. It's not. You just picked up a whole nother book. You didn't even understand. There was multiple books before then. You haven't even read the Egyptian book. You haven't read the book of the undead. So it's plenty of books that carry more weight than your whole religion in this book of the whole concept of it being created. But yet you're going and battling hard for it. So you don't understand that it's whole Egyptology. That was way before that. That was talking about Ra. That was talking about Horus. You wouldn't understand that because you would think Ra and Horus was an actual bird head man. So this will let you know that a religious person will once again anamorphize things and not look at it for saying like a bird could see high view. So this could be a person that can have a higher knowledge than the average human. So have the human body connected underneath the eagle head or stuff like that. They don't get that allegory. You get what I'm saying? They don't get how to draw out hieroglyphics. So when we dealing with a world lost and they all talk the same way, which is institutionalized, they say, no, this is about the Bible. And then you be like, damn, so why God did this? So why God didn't kill the devil? This all plays along with them. This is the reason why they have the 5 pillars, because it all runs together. The religion, the politics, the education system, the entertainment, all of these things goes together. So they all keep them together to make sure they be able to get things done. It all backs each other up. This one helped create a narrative. This one show out how the narrative being played. This one make it that you're entertained by the narrative. This one make it like the narrative have to work because we don't want to go through what went through on that movie, aka the politics behind it. Then you got the ones like, oh, we're going to build some type of mass structure, which is the religion people behind it. So they play it out of knowing you're going to pick this side. You only got these 5 pillars, and you're going to get in one of them. You know what I'm saying? You're going to go to one of them and praise it. So, and then all of them being controlled by different men that took over the country, or the different men that came together and colonized things. So once we talk about just colonizing, it's not something where somebody physically wasn't going to do nothing. No, we got to think about it mentally, where it's a mind thing. So when we say it's only 2 minds, your mind is either the Mason mind. If you don't have your mind, you didn't find yourself or find who you was so you can identify yourself, have your own culture from within, you're not going to know what's going on out here. You're going to get played every time you see it pop up on that entertainment system or that thing that's telling you to have a vision, your TV system. You get what I'm saying? So when it comes down to that, it's the truth. So you can have it like this. And even with that, we should say Satan takes 1 truth and add 99 lies. Well, you know, that's another thing. We're taught religious. Hold on, y'all. Emily is going to save somebody. That's what I'm talking about. Go be a real angel out there. Go be a real angel out there. You know what I'm saying? Actually go save and help some lives out there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the surgeons and all that, because one thing about it, y'all saved my life. You know what I mean by that. Really. I wouldn't even be walking and stuff right now. I don't even supposed to be walking. Y'all don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't even supposed to be walking right now. But anyways, check this out. Even when it comes down to Satan, look at the word Satan, look at the word Saturday, and look at the word Saturn. You don't think there's no coincidences though? Huh? You see what I'm saying? Think about the moon. Think about Monday. You don't think it's no, and then think about Alpha Data. She was the goddess of the moon. You don't think it was no, okay then. That I'm trying to tell y'all, man. I'm here to make you think and not hard, because it's not complicated. They make it complicated. They create religious mindsets to have you go against people that look just like you. So now if they got them doing that, it's a battle. It's a war. It's 1,000 years of argument. So even if y'all having war with just communication, it's going to be hard to understand each other because both of y'all is institutionalized a certain way. If you grow up in Jamaica and all you know is Jamaica, that's it. If you grow up in America, that's all you know is America, that's it. So when y'all come together and have disagreements, it don't even make sense because y'all understanding not even with each other. It's only for the little bit of shit that you learn. So at the end of the day, we got to understand how to expand our consciousness. So not to the point that we expand our consciousness so much that we lose ourselves spiritually, but that we expand our consciousness enough that we could be aware to the little things and understand that it be psyops getting played on us. It's things on us that get people under their skin and then have them lose faith. So they play these type of games and they know what they're doing. Trust me. They know how to destroy people. They know how to destroy tribes. They've been doing this. They use viruses. They use vaccines. Have y'all ever read how most Native Americans died? It wasn't through guns. It was through diseases. So when we think about it like that, go look at all these wars, the Winnipeg War, the Brown Bear War, all these different type of things that we never even learned in school because they were too busy giving us the lens of the colonizer. So when we even think that we're not a colonizer by us being black or white, we already colonized. We're caught up under the colorism spectrum of it. So now we're not able to actually learn and identify what's going on. You identifying it through a certain lens. Oh, I'm black. Oh, I'm white. Oh, I'm Chinese. Like, so now it gets you to take a certain bias and draw justifications for things that don't even supposed to be justified. So now, you get what I'm saying? You just drawing things to conclusion and don't not quite understand what your spirit is trying to tell you. So we have these different type of things where now you got to depend on an exterior source. Where now you got to be like, yo, the world's so fucked up. I'm so fucked up. Jesus, take the wheel. God, come help me. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, you just showed that you don't have no mental stability. The wheel is inside of you. That's the wheel of the car. You understanding how to drive your mentality. Your drive, your mentality. So if you don't have a mentality that was with a drive, you would not go nowhere in life. So you get what I'm saying? Like, man, this shit, people think it's just, oh, just a first of words. No, it is the truth. It is what it is. That's why it rings so bad. The drive, the mentality. So if you look at your mentality, your UFO, as in saying your unidentified object, which is your mind, you learn how to use your mind to go further in life. Not in reverse, because if you go in reverse, now you're forgetting or going back to things that you already went through the process of. So you're not growing, you're more retreating. So you're not incarnating, you're reincarnating. And they teach reincarnation on purpose. So they don't want you to understand the truth about God. So they give y'all a God thing and say, yeah, the truth about God, even what I just did, right? To say, hey, look, we made the meaning behind the word God. We even created the word God because y'all don't understand it. Y'all don't even know y'all culture to know that things was once great, not just good. So it was the great plains. You get what I'm saying? The great skies, you get what I'm saying? We don't understand. That's why everything was announced as great. It ain't great no more. It ain't great no more. You know why? Because nature itself was the greatest it could be. It was already giving us cover, giving us when trees fall, giving us the same insects, bugs, to help life keep cycling. But when we start letting motherfuckers come over and start turning everything, burning sand, start manipulating, making metals out of everything, it could have been done good, but it's a moderation into everything, bro. You can't just keep going to the same pond, catching all the fish out of it and expect more fish. You get what I'm saying? Not if it's not so but so big. So that's the same type of thing. When you're inside of a religion, you're inside of a small group of spiritualness. It don't have no actual spiritual meaning behind it. So when you're in these religions, this little small group of information that you're getting, notice, when you look to your right, it's somebody 97 years old, still don't know what the fuck going on. And been in that religion before your ass was born, way before you was born. So just think about that. You got plenty of religious people that been in the Bible or in this religious concept, especially black people, been going there for years, burying each other for years, singing death songs and trash ass music for years behind what's going on. So then when you go look, you like, God damn, that don't make no sense. Why is it still not working out? And that's the reason why. They done made y'all have faith in nothing but man. And then said don't have faith in man. But that's all they taught. So now when we talk about Superman or supernatural, that ain't nobody but Jesus Christ coming down into an animation of the way that y'all mind predicted out to be. You know why? Because they done told y'all, as in the television, the TVs that was brought up before y'all. Think about the old heads and think about what they used to do. They used to wake up every morning, hurry up and go to the news. This generation, we know the news is straight up lying to you. It's straight up rhetoric, propaganda. You're going to run into all this type of stuff when you deal with it. So imagine them growing years, 50 years, 60 years, believing in this thing. Not only just believing in the news, believing in to politics, thinking that one judge, hold on, y'all, another rescue. See, they be busy out here. Now they going to get it. They putting in that physical work. They putting in that physical work, man. That's what I'm talking about. Something crazy must have happened, you know. Whatever happened to whoever family, man, I hope they get through it and hope I did feel better about it or whatever, man. Hope it ain't no ugly situation. Damn, that shit crazy. But anyways, man, and that's another thing, man. You got people that ain't mentally right and ain't mentally stable. So they have a whole connection, a whole group that believe them because they got a whole bunch of other motherfuckers that's not mentally stable. So it's a good connection of people that look like that. And we're not talking about mental stability as in how they break down diseases and stuff like that. Like a kid that's artistic, that doesn't mean the way that I'm explaining it is the same thing. Nah, because I look at it like you say, like art. Art is the way we craft or create something, right? So they have a very creative mindset and be able to craft things out of what you couldn't have. You'd have probably just looked at that 2 egg cartons and ain't think much of it. But that kid could see a whole truck out of it or be able to make a whole action figure out of it. So you tell me who actually got powers. And if it wasn't no thing of where they was getting judged, it would actually be a lot different. So I don't mean that when I'm saying them. I'm talking about mentally disturbed as in you thought that person had it together because they was able to get these degrees and these Masonic schooling. And then when you go look at them in the store, they can't even walk in a straight line. Can't even get themselves together, can't take care of themselves, hygiene, no, none of that. And then they out here trying to lead you. The same kid that was picking his boogers now is your president. Or the same kid that was just doing all this weird shit now is somebody in life because he continued to go to school and learn all the Masonic arts. So now when he get in real life, the only situations he know how to survive with is theirs because they don't teach you survival tools. That's not the point. I broke that down too. I broke down the BOE, the Board of Education, and I showed it on camera of how the BOE wasn't designed to create creative thinkers. It was designed to create people to play specific roles and understand their religion concepts of how they break things down. So think about all of that stuff. Think about all of it. Think about it. That means our education system's already tainted. That means they're actually using our kids and absorbing all the information from them, and as they are using it to create their AI things. You get what I'm saying? And stuff like that, just like they do with us. So you see how fake people coming around. You see how they take our real nostalgias and put it together and put it on a damn disc and make it. Y'all seen a Justin Timberlake video years ago when he was basically downloading himself to an AI form. So y'all see that. So we see small versions of getting people prepared for it. So you see the VR glasses. You see all of these type of things because this is what's going to prepare you for the real version of their Superman or their super villains and all of these super Power Ranger animation shit they want to do to try to control the world, bro, because they get people to believe in shit that is not real. And then they would do anything to make it real. Y'all just had a whole virus that wasn't real. Everybody was just wearing them and now ain't got to. Come on now. That don't make no sense. So what happened? It got weaker. It don't feel like attacking people that ain't got a mask. Still believing them. Still believing them. The world supposed to have been better after 2008. That's what I can remember, right? Everybody supposed to be, yeah, we're going to make the price of food, the price of gas. But the oil industry letting these type of people run it. And I already broke down that too. When you thinking it's actual Native Americans, no, it's people that come from India or Saudi Arabia that they move, dress them up, cosplay them as Indians, and say these are the Native Americans that owns these facilities. And of course, they're going to use their history of what they didn't hide from people or taught in school to teach these people so they could know a little something and not just be played a fool. But when you start looking at them and stuff, it goes along with the agenda too. To say that this is what real Native Americans look like. No, real Native Americans look like this. You get what I'm saying? Real talk. And they want you to feel confused. So you always giving your power to something else. Always. It's never your thing. Notice that. Because the book wasn't written for you. So it wasn't written for your bias. It was written for a whole nother place. It was written for Latins. It was written for well, I'm gonna say the people like in India and stuff. So they supposed to feel empowered. They supposed to know that having a marking and all this stand for that you're aware of your temple, your third eye, your vision, this and that. That was for them. Y'all the one took it and made it something completely different. Literally said in your own books, thou shalt not talk to the dead. Well, talking to the dead is, against God. But then say the God that you're praying to is dead. And you're telling them or talking to them. But look at it as just prayer. And then the word prayer, the way y'all look at it, is like pray. It's something like you being smaller than the predator. So it's like a whole bunch of things. And the predator end up being these type of pastors that get caught with these charges and the mental concept of how a lot of religious people used to think back then. Because if you look at the Bible for a real age preference, it get freaky. You talking about a 14-year-old and a 49-year-old. When you look at Virgin Mary, however you want to look at it, because it's not talking about years of age. It was talking about solar. It was talking about lunar movements, phases. So a lot of people don't understand degrees. You get what I'm saying? So if you did know a little astrology, that's where you mix it in at. But you still got to be careful with that, because that is also will get you lost. But you got to know how far to go with it. You can't sit there and just base everything off astrology. You got to go by some people's actual physical experience that they share, or have. So you can't, all I'm saying is basically, you can't walk up to every Aries and think they're the same. You can't walk up to every Virgo and expect them to be the same. Now, the way they might think or the way they might act out of things may seem the same or may appear to be the same. But trust me, that don't mean they're the same. They can have a whole different emotion behind it. AKA, I just broke down showing you that they can have the same sun sign but a different moon sign. So the emotion this one have behind it might move a little different than the emotion behind that one. He might come from an emotional standpoint of trying to build a table. This one might come from an emotional standpoint of just being frustrated and can't control the emotions. You get what I'm saying? So we got stuff like that. And that could have been a Cancer moon versus a Capricorn moon. You get what I'm saying? But it's both Sun and Virgo, or Sun and Aries, however the fuck you want to look at it. So that's just to show y'all how that goes. You know what I'm saying? And these things was at play. So we're not just looking at it like, okay, so then what is the moon? Oh, the moon is a reflection of what's going on with, now it get deep. It's now you got to take away all the Superman stuff. You know why? Because now you start talking about the moon, you like, whoa. If the moon is more of a light like the sun, that means y'all can't land on it. So the excuse for the sun was it's too hot to land on. Then we find out that the sun ain't hot. You get what I'm saying? So then when you start digging into stuff like that, it started making a whole picture of what's actually going on, where it's all something drawn out for it to play specific roles. So of course, 1965, you're going to have somebody launch a spaceship in air and say this is a planet. The first time we identified another planet, and it's called Mars. So you see what I'm saying? And they labeled it as a power construct. So they looking at it like saying it's like, yo, this the generator for this. So the big G. They even put a little Masonic G on it and all that. So when we seeing this stuff, if you is a Mason and you think, like, okay, I'm doing good, I'm just fucking with people and did it. Nah, bro, you kind of just went against yourself again. You don't realize it though. And you actually played the role with the man because you did things or joined or something just in order for you to have the ups over something. So you didn't believe in God. You had to go believe in man because man told you, hey, if you sign this contract or if you take in your brotherhood, we shall make sure you be successful in life or don't go through as much hardships as everyone else. But those are the ones that's making the hardships and creating them for everyone else. So, of course, they can play the good guy sometimes. If you sitting out there, even as the government, right? If you sitting out there, everybody been getting their ass whooped for thousands of years before we got here, well, hundreds of years before we came up with this system. How is we still old in the system? How is it even that somebody like our grandparents, right, worked in 60 years, millions of them, but we ain't got no taxes put up or no money put up? It sounds like we need to start being careful with who we trusting with our money. Because no matter how much we put up and no matter how many of us put up, it's still like we ain't got shit. That's crazy, ain't it? So when you start thinking like that, yeah, it get deep. Because it's all like agenda and role play. I keep telling people that it's a role play. You got a president of a building. It's the same way that works. And he's not the one that's actually in control. That's just a fall guy of the situation. So you got to understand the difference. So when we talk about this Superman shit, this superhuman, this Santa Claus, this person coming to save the whole world, oh man, that's all it took. They get people to believe in that. Now, do the AI, do the CGI, do the artificial what is called imprints, uploading, the ability to scan, the ability to Photoshop, the ability to create an environment that ain't there. All that you don't think gonna play a role into something? Drones. You already got the drone show, right? You got a drone show. And let me tell you how about Americans. Americans will sit there and they'll see a Germany have, you know, their little thing where they build these big ass robots. And Americans can sit there and say, look, they was hiding giants from us. Like, dude, they're not hiding giants from you. This is part of their culture. This is what they're doing over there. This is how they put in their creativity. So why as Americans, we ain't got no creativity inside besides just being in other people's fucking drama? Besides just finding out what's wrong with somebody. Besides finding the negative thing about them no matter how much positive they do. Y'all don't find that like no colonizing ass mind? Like why do people want to just take over other people's shit? And then when they get it on them, they don't know what the fuck to do with it. So we talking about a whole bunch of people that's starving for a position to lead and nobody don't know how to lead. So that's why these things get created. I believe they create false leaders and false idols. And then have you believe in these people. Have you look at these people like they got superpowers. I'm telling you this, man. Some people really think rappers and celebrities have superpowers. But no, they regular people. They got regular mood swings, urges, they emotions, all that shit the same, bro. You just letting the eye fool you. Even though 6ix9ine broke it down to people, telling people, yo, you can buy number one. You can buy this stuff. You know why? Because the manipulation of numbers. So a person right now will scroll by this because it has 2 views. But if it had 3,000 views, no matter what the conversation is, it'll have more of a chance of getting clicked on. Do you get what I'm saying? If it's 400,000, way more. So the concept and the manipulation of playing with numbers. So even if those people are not real, if you play a role of having a whole bunch of bot viewers, it makes it looks like the people that do not know of the information about you is missing something. So what it does is make them grab and join in to trying to figure out what is wrong. But now guess what? It's a real view. So now it pings off different things and different algorithms. So the way they play their bot views out, they know how to actually buy good bots. They're not just buying bots that don't do nothing or no reaction. No, they're buying bots through apps and all this type of stuff, saying if you subscribe to this, or if you follow this channel, or if you do this, you can get points back. Twitch is one of the people that openly do it. You get what I'm saying? So this is how deep it goes, man. But either way, today I just felt like cooking them because yesterday I gave them a break. I let up off of them. I just broke down that religion. I showed the word religion and showed what it meant. Now, hold up real quick again if y'all want to see it. You know what I'm saying? Because you know I got to state my word. You know me. You know me. I'm going to show you all the proof, everything in the pudding. Hold on real quick, though, y'all. But, yeah. So, let me get in here real quick. Show y'all this. Ignore my loud behind jitterbugs, too. Hold on. Hey, hold up. I'm live. Hey, buddy. Hold up. Oh, you on the phone? Oh, all right. Hold on real quick, gang. I'm finna show y'all what I'm talking about real quick. Just to have the right information because I don't want people thinking, you know what I'm saying, I'm just saying something. So, yeah, the screen black right now, but hold up, y'all. All right. Let me get off this real quick. Get off this YouTube. Just real quick now. Just to show y'all. Boom. And what it says, the belief in the worship of a superhuman power or powers, especially a god or gods. Superman is known as a god. So when we start thinking about it like that, that's the monotheistic version, which is mainly Christianity. Now, if you go to start looking at what words even acquire with it, like I was telling y'all earlier, you go to looking at the word like institutionalized. You see this right here? Look. A personal set of institutionalized systems of religious attitudes, beliefs, and practices, aka rituals. Well, routine and practice is called a ritual. So yeah, they make the words a little light. Hold on, y'all. Let me flip it over. They make the words a little light, but at the same time, that is how it is. So if anybody just joining the live and they don't understand what's going on, there you go. So now when you understand a superhuman, you understand how someone could be super. Somebody could do things that other humans couldn't do. So they can call, science. So when science is actually the one that's going against man. So when you look at it like that, that is what it's talking about. That is exactly what it's talking about. You see that? A superhuman. Superhuman, or AKA known as a god. When you start looking at the concepts of what a god is, they break down a human that just have a lot more strength, a lot more speed, a lot more intelligent. So it's just a person that's super. Why you think Super Saiyan is popular? I'm guessing so. Why you think they got the Z fighters and the Earthlings? The Earthlings can't fight like the Z fighters. The Z fighters is like super Z fighters, all the way to the point that Dragon Ball Z. Once they passed Super Saiyan, what was the next form? God form. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like I said, I don't be caring about none of that junk they be playing with. When people get to these videos and they see like, damn, that's a concept of just easy thinking. Hold on. They did get people to believe in a superhuman or superhumans quoted as a god or gods. So then they created a religion based off of one god that shared special abilities that was anointed to the world of them. And it actually came after other gods, but they don't look at it that way. And it's the only God. So you get these type of games played on you. You get one-on-one and telling you, hey, there's no other God but me. Then you go to one other religion, it's like, hey, there's more than one God. That's just this God. But then they make you bow to these gods and then make you worship these gods, all very similar. But then people sit there and say something wrong with satanic people. And they're doing the same thing. They just worshiping theirs with more of the physical of what they got lost in. You get what I'm saying? Of the spiritual concept. Instead of them understanding, let the blood run from the youth, you know what I'm saying? Let them be able to run and be able to produce different waters. They don't look at it like that. They look at it like, oh, let's actually produce it. So when we talk about rituals, we talk about all this, it's literally the same. I always break that down. When people go to church, they say they're drinking the blood of Christ and they're eating the flesh of Christ. How is that not cannibalism and satanic? How? So by you having this type of meaning, and what is it? It's the ideology. It's not the actual blood of Christ. It's not the actual flesh of Christ. But your point is that it's a human that you're taking the flesh and blood from allegorically. Ideology. Like, so this the ideal behind it. So you get what I'm saying? So how is that not satanic? So like I said, black people that sitting there saying they're religious in any goddamn religion, I don't care if you're a Muslim or any of that shit, Hebrew, Israelite, any of that, you're a disgrace. You don't need to speak for your people. You just need to be quiet and just try to figure out what's going on out here, because your mind is limited. It's not a thing where I'm trying to be mean. It's a thing that I'm saying, if you only learn about how to make shoes at a factory, what make you think you can fly planes? You get what I'm saying? You've been at a shoe factory 10 years, bro. This ain't got nothing to do with us flying planes. Hell, in the air, shoes ain't gonna help you. You get what I'm saying, man? I'm telling y'all, bro. This is the concept of religion. It's a small talk thing, so you only know what you got, and then that's all you got to go from there. And then once you can't go from there, you don't know what the fuck to go. So now you go back to the religion because you're still trying to find answers through something they haven't given you answers for years. So when you look around and you see that 67-year-old dude over there that's still attending church, don't ask why. Don't ask why. He's lost just like you. Y'all both still trying to find the understanding of what's being said, because it's not actual realistic. It's not actually talking about how you bring Christ into life. So they don't understand that. So they have you scared of death. They have you scared of life. They have it that you shouldn't live, and that if you die, this going to happen. So they scare you. They fear mongle you to the point that you don't know should you live or die. So when we're dealing with people like that, they're actually mentally disturbed. So hold on real quick, y'all. That's what I like to break down real quick. Got to, man, because it's crazy out here. That's how it normally goes, you know what I'm saying? They like to play with people. They want you to give up. They want you to take the foot off the gas. Now, yesterday I could have did that, but no. Yesterday I did, 15-minute live? I gave it to him basically, right? Cut my whole live off. I had and just broke down the superhuman part. Hold on. Yeah, but like I was saying, so they do all this type of stuff, man. They like to play these type of games and junk. So when you cooking on them, they gonna play with the Buicks. They gonna play with the who is getting to. But yet, somebody that could be completely new, don't even have a supportive group, don't have no fan base or nothing, could just pull up and make something up. And just pull up and 1,000 people joining in every 5 minutes. They're getting to subscribe. And it's just because we all done got attended to bullshit. Like, look at Americans. Look at what we focused on. Our life going to shit to Shonda, but we don't give a fuck. We steady trying to worry about stuff that has no importance to this day. Like the streamers, the content creators, the celebrities, the people that we have on top, not even talking about things that actually improve the world, things that actually improve what's going on, things that's a change, because it's obviously need to be changed. We can see that if it's getting worse and worse, it obviously need to be changed. If you study going somewhere and that tire getting more and more bad, you obviously know you got to change that tire one day. Otherwise, that tire going to fuck the whole car up and no telling when it's going to do it. You might be at the worst situation when they mess up. And it really catapult or mess other people up too. So we looking at that. You get what I'm saying? To where they got people doing crazy things to other people that don't necessarily deserve it because these people is in a situation where they're broke. They don't have nothing to eat and stuff like that. So they probably robbing and sticking people up. So they bringing harm to other people that didn't even deserve it. But due to them getting put into the situation and not knowing how to handle it from a mental construct, and everything is being mentally disturbed right now. Like they tell you to be a good person. They tell you to do this and do that. But what they call a good person is basically like a well-behaved slave. So you start seeing the game. And then you start getting things ran on you, right? Where a company will work the shit out of you for 20 years and then fire you, and you have nothing from that company. They don't owe you or none of that shit though. So we got a lot of rules and a lot of dirty things in the game where we just playing along with it and we not actually going against it. You get what I'm saying? The we as the people got the power. So when we look at it like that, we got to stop giving exterior sources the power, like we do with Superman. How Superman more powerful than us? You get what I'm saying? That don't even make sense. Superman had to grow up with us. That makes no sense. They just like how they did with his Jesus concept. Jesus had to grow up with that village that was already there. Like those people was already living. Like y'all really don't be seeing how they draw these stories together and stuff. So it just be funny as hell to me that see that Superman is like the ultimate superhero, and the only thing that can technically beat bro is kryptonite or some shit like this. Now later on they might switch up the game plan a little bit. I don't know. I didn't see the new Superman movie. I'm just going off of basically why these things is mainstream and who is actually Superman. So when you look at Superman, man means human or mankind, and then when you go look at the word religion, it means to believe in a superhuman or superhumans, or known as a god or goddess. So I don't get how people don't see the two. But you know why? That's because people don't study what they're in. They only study what's in what they're in. They don't study what they're in. Do you get what I'm saying? They only study the information they're getting out of a religion, not study the information about why should I even join a religion, especially if the word itself comes from Latin and I have nothing to do with Latins at all. So once again, it show you how to join other people's business and how to get things going the wrong way. So it teaches you how to go to war. It teaches you how to argue with someone at the store that own motels and stuff like that. And you saying, yo, Jesus is more powerful, but they looking at you struggling, come by the front of their store every day. And they looking at you like, yo, obviously my God more stronger. Because you're going off of my God. You get what I'm saying? Y'all call it y'all God, but this is mine that was created for us over here. So when you look at the God thing, you got to look at it like as a saying the Superman or superhuman. You got to look at it as the great colonizer who's doing the best job. So like I said earlier, Superman right now would technically be Bill Gates. Why? Because he did the best job. He bought all the farms. He made a lot of thousand people sick, and to the point that, we don't know nothing else about him. They wouldn't run the tests on the animals because when they did, it killed them at first. So now we watching them hit little dosages, and he's admitting that he want to do these things. So if he's admitting that he want to do these things, you have no one telling him, hey, you cannot do these things to us, because people not focused on that information anyway. And then now when it's getting done, we wondering what's going on. It's nothing to fight against. You know what I'm saying? The man owned half of the damn world. He already showing that. And I showed y'all that. You get what I'm saying? I broke that down as well. I done broke down all these things. And you better believe they would never pass a couple 100,000 of views when you're dealing with a world that we're in right now. Yeah, maybe 6 years ago when the world had a little bit of opening left in it, maybe then. But now, how this shit set up now, everybody want to be goddamn overwoke, and to the point that they just using their religious mind to a more fucked up way. So now they're making up better excuses than that couldn't even be made up in the beginning. It's like, so y'all just coming up with better excuses for the bullshit that's going on in life. Damn. And this is what we dealing with, man. You get what I'm saying? So That's how this shit been going. So when we look at a Superman movie and we look at all the people down there like, Superman fight this big ass galactic being from outer space and shit. We all like, yay! Like, no, nigga, that black galactic being ain't from outer space. You can't go outer space. It's not a such thing. You looking at outer space. You got outer space, space within space, and then you got the inside of space. So when you're looking at this, it's a 3-layer thing. It's like an onion, but you're not going outside of that. Why I keep thinking that? Because why? You got movies like Dragon Ball Z for the anime and for it to put in the cartoony for the kid version. Then you got fucking Star Trek and Star Wars for the adults. So now you got NASA telling you, hey, due to us having science and be able to see these planets that y'all can't see with y'all eyes, but we can see them, we also could do other things that y'all can't do because y'all regular humans and we NASA. It ain't the point that we went to school with y'all and now we're saying that we know how to build a spaceship, but we went to the same school. It ain't about none of that. It ain't about, some of them don't even go to the schooling for this stuff. Let's talk about Bill Gates when it comes to the healthcare. How do you get the healthcare and you're not even understanding what it takes to be in the healthcare? So you've never been an LPN, a CNA, you never been a surgeon, you never been a person that do x-rays, a radiologist. So we gotta see this stuff. These people never been none of these things, but yet gonna tell us our whole life of how to run something. We gotta stop letting that happen. And that's when we just giving up our power. That's why I told y'all, it's like we just taking our power, our consciousness, and our whole life and be like, whoop, shooting it with the left hand and knowing we right-handed. So it's like, damn, we playing in the ball that ain't, we playing in the court where it's like the chains is at the bottom of the rim. So as soon as you think you made a shot, here goes some shit catching up in life and fucking you over. So they even got us to do it with each other, right? Where the Young Thug, all this type of shit. And I'm gonna speak more on this tomorrow. I'm probably have a separated live for it. To where they got us basically beefing with them or watching them tear each other apart. And it's like, yo, what is it gonna do? Where's the benefits from it? What do it benefit people? Only thing we can benefit from this is kids, stop trying to be gangsters. Stop trying to do all this, taking this person's life and all that because they got a place for you. That's about it. We can't learn nothing else from it. And how many times we done been hearing that throughout life? You get what I'm saying? That shit don't even make sense. So we're having battles where it's just like motherfuckers are taking their head and they just like bam, bam against the wall, but they're expecting something different to happen. So when you look at insanity, you gotta understand it. A motherfucker like, yeah, bro, one job ain't gonna work no more. Now you gotta work 3. And you think that's normal. And you think that's good. So you telling me 16 years ago you could have survived with $400. But now you telling me you can't do that this year. You can't even survive with $1,600. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Like your body and like time itself ain't telling you, nigga, stuff take time. That's what's wrong. Like we forcing shit. Like plants and shit take time. You don't need to be putting no quick fertilizer on it that's mixed up with all these other chemicals that's actually bad for the plant, that knock the taste out of it, that knock something off from it. You get what I'm saying? Like, why do we keep going through these stages? And that's why you look at the world and then you got obesity. Then you got people that study eating and eating and eating. And you're like, why is they eating like this? What is going on with the world? How is we in a better world where we have so much exercise equipment, so many different ways to being smart, and we still loaded with dummies? We still loaded with people that do not exercise. Then they're not from neither one of them. So just think about it. Like, look at my shape. I'm 34, bro. 34. There's a lot of 34-year-olds that ain't looking like me. I'm sorry to say it like that. Why? Because of how they carry themselves. Some of it could be genetics. Don't get it twisted. But the way that they carry themselves, bro. Y'all got to understand how the mind being in on itself is super deep. It ain't just something that's just some shit. No, the mind being in on itself. That's why they're able to create movies like Superman, because they already got your mind to see things a certain way. And that mind that you're seeing things with is called a vision. That's a vision. That's why it's a television. It's telling you how to visit. A telephone is telling you how to communicate or how to talk to others. So when you look at a telephone booth and you think about Superman going inside of a telephone booth, aka communicating with the people, as in saying answering their prayers and coming back as Superman. Bam. That's the same thing as the Jesus Christ. Y'all just want to play favorites and switch the ideology behind it. No, it's the same exact fucking thing. It's the same ideology. It's just like the way they play it out is different. But it's the same. It's the same concept of saying, hey, we need to call on to this superhuman to come save our life. So you got them calling on to Jesus Christ, them calling on to their great Messiah. Then you got the great Messiah playing a role as Superman. So y'all not see how this play? So not only in Dragon Ball Z, you got the Super Messiah being Goku or whoever. You always got this other person that got to have all this superness to save y'all. So that means we're gonna be always telling our visions, hey man, we're gonna just keep working and slaving. God gonna come back and whoop all their ass. And we died. 100 more years, man. We're gonna keep slaving. God gonna come back and whoop all their ass. Died again. Come back again. We just keep recycling the same thing because they gave us a belief system that only take you but to this far. But it is far, man. I'm telling y'all, this shit just real. And people don't understand how deep it goes. So they'll look at someone like me and be like, so what degrees did you get? I got degrees too. What certificates did you get? I got that too. But even if I didn't have it, they'll try to use that as an advantage to say, hey, you don't need a talking point. No, they don't need a talking point. Their brain is designed a certain way. The people that has a degree, a diploma, and all of this type of stuff there is just saying, hey, I passed this Masonic part of art. I passed this Masonic class. I am this now. And all that is just showing you how they're institutionalized into a form of thinking. Even when it comes down to numbers, mathematics, all of that stuff to us. So that's why they can play with numbers. Numbers lie, men lie, women lie. So I don't get where people come at from with that. Numbers don't lie. No, numbers lie, bro. And numbers could be manipulated, bro. You can manipulate $3 right now by just saying 150 and 150. Because you know why? In the eyes, you're looking like you got two ones, right? But at the same time, these two halves over here adding the fuck up. So when you looking at it, yeah, it look like you about to pay $3. But in reality, you finna pay like $3.18. Because once we done adding these fucking taxes and shit, it's gonna be higher than that anyway. So even if we gave you 10%, we're not even really giving you nothing because we taking that shit right back from you. So welcome. So now they even got apps where now it's like, okay, let's go ahead, give them this. And as they feel like they're building up towards something, they'll make them go spend with us. Even the days they don't want to spend, they'll spend saying, hey, so it's all manipulation. It's all product. Oh, how we gonna say it? It's just all taken by sales and product. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. How's we gonna get these things off? How's we gonna sell this product? So if I can sell these people bullshits and dreams for lies, aka the great American dream, I can keep people lost. So if the Americans really believe this, no matter what other country's showing them, shit, we might as well keep it going then. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell people all the time, bro, if the world come to a part where everybody is in these big ass gigantic protests, I want y'all to think about it as officers. Is you actually fighting for the right side because they told you, you know what I'm saying, this is what a good guy is. Because they played you once again. Reverse psychology. They made you think you was a good guy, but now you're doing something that you felt good for the wrong individuals, which the intentions behind it, you might be wanting to do something good. But at the end of the day, you're doing something horrible. Same thing with Christians. Same thing people that study joining religions. You might feel like you're doing something right intentionally because you're trying to find God. Nothing wrong with that. But the way you're going to find God, only thing you're going to do is find a man that's going to direct you and play third party for God. Going to tell you what God's saying and all this and that and on a small version. You get what I'm saying? But this is how it works, gang. It ain't no getting away from that. It's just this the life that we live in. And until we start changing or bringing change to it or just separate ourselves, I feel like it'll be better separation. Because at the end of the day, it's so fucked up. If somebody haven't woke up, they're not waking up. If somebody haven't caught on to what's going on and got him to this type of information, period, and don't see how the world playing everybody, no matter what you in, if you're in a cult, if you're in a brotherhood, if you're in a fraternity, if you're inside of a religion, they all getting played. Y'all all getting played with. So y'all all still feel like y'all special or better than the other next group or the next religion or the next cult, and y'all actually not. So they're playing with y'all emotions by giving y'all superiority. They're making you feel like you're more superior or more important than someone else. And then turn around and like, oh, none of y'all is as important than this person or is more important than this figure. So we see how these things get played around, flipped around, tossed upside down, however you want to look at it. So at the end of the day, that's why I say I break this shit down. I don't be needing nobody. I'm used to regular recording. I'm used to regular going in. I don't need no hype man. I don't need no nutty professor. Sherman, I don't need that shit. I'm going to go in out the gate. I'm going to go in from straight off the heart and not the wheels. I'm not finna sit here and play and sit here and try to cater to certain mindsets and try to cater to how some people might take it. That ain't my fault. That ain't my fault if I'm showing you exactly what it is. Because when you go through it, you're going to see it as what it is if I ain't even say it. So at the same time, I'm just pointing out and showing you where it's coming from. Because at the end of the day, we got to know how things started. So when we see that seed plant, we know what type of plant we're expecting. You know what I'm saying? Not even putting an inspection on it. We know what type of seed we planted. So me knowing what seeds I plant is knowing that there's something good. Because if I felt like I'm planting bad seeds or something like that, I wouldn't even do it, bro. I would go back to the esoteric drawing board, try to figure out what the fuck I got going on, go back to my little farmer gear. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to put it, I'll go back to my little RuneScape world and try to figure out what am I doing wrong with this plant. Am I not using the right fertilization? Does it need more light? Does it need less light? Does it need more water? Does it need less water? You know what I'm saying? And we can look at it from a perspective of looking at it just like kids, right? Does this kid need too much nutrition? AKA, there's too much nutrition or too much notice or too much light. That's a child that's spoiled. A child that's righteous and, regretful and rebellious, that might be a child that ain't get enough light. So when we start understanding this light concept, it actually ain't all that what you think. They let you think the light is just good and that's it, and the dark is bad. So they even teach you how to hate yourself if you're a black person. I'm just throwing it out there because it's small concepts that come together, and this is how it end up actually playing us out. And a lot of us don't understand that. So we see how we could be racist against our own kind and hate our own kinds. And it's not about just our own kind as in saying colorism, but we talking about ethnicity too. Why do so many Americans hate each other? Because they have so many misconceptions of trying to build some type of special prestige livelihood. So you have a Ku Klux Klan. You have these different type of things because they wanted one race to be better than the other. So anytime we have this, it's the same thing you see in religions where they think that them being part of this religion is better than others. You get what I'm saying? So then they have these debates where they all argue about being wrong. So this is what it led to today, to where if you would have went back a couple hundred years ago, everybody would know that's the Great Spirit. They might not even call it that. It might be like the Gurgata. But the Gurgata is what they're saying, the Great Spirit. You get what I'm saying? So we dealing with a world where so many different ways to communicate, and a motherfucker can't just communicate with their mouth. You get what I'm saying? Where they don't even know how to communicate through TikTok. They don't even know how to communicate socializing. So socialism has been pushed. All these different things to where our kids is not even learning the building block information like we did, the 1, 2, 3 process. It's just a 3 process now. It's just right to the third thing. And it's like, yo, you don't understand the mechanisms of how something go from cardinal to fixed to mutable, right? Of understanding 1, 2, 3, all right? Of understanding even the season itself do that over and over 4 times a year. You get what I'm saying? You got Aries being the cardinal, spring, the cardinal of the spring, the beginning of the spring. You got Taurus being the middle of the spring. You got Gemini being the end of the spring. You get what I'm saying? Cancer being the beginning of the summer. Virgo being the end of the summer. Leo being the middle of the summer. So the middle sign is, if y'all notice, is the fixated signs. Just like Taurus was the first one. So if we just looking at it from a sign perspective, but hell, we could throw away they whole science behind it and don't even use signs. Just say the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, the 9, the 10, the 11, the 12. All the way up to 12. It says 12 months of the year. Each year have a different special ability to it. So now we're looking at it like, okay, you got the 1 special, you got the 2 special. So that's just like how they use with the house system. You know what I'm saying? The house system is the 1 to 12. So when you understand it's 30 degrees in each house, now you can understand when it says 60 degrees, that's talking about 2 houses. You get what I'm saying? So when you understand 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, it's not talking about days, it's talking about degrees of each houses. So you know if it's talking about 90 degrees or 90 days from the start of the realm, we're talking about back to the next start in the zodiac. So we're talking about Cancer time. So it's stuff like that where people don't understand and anamorphize everything and making everything like it's the goddamn book Animorphs and everything like it's Harry Potter and transformation and all this here. So when we talk about Scorpio energy, they like to play with that. They like to play dark powers that you don't know. So they do this at their little ritual parties where they have like fake transformation or someone transforming into something. So even to the point you see Transformers. You get what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of shit that goes on in the world where they're showing you this shit. They're showing you, watch me turn this into something else. So you see it from a good perspective, like how they do with Incredible Hulk, right? How they turn this nerd, normal science geek into the strongest man in the world. So they're showing you, hey, secretly behind closed doors, we might be operating on something called super soldiers. Hoping the person lives throughout it. Whatever this super soldier is, hoping they take the injection, hoping they get paid this amount of money a year, but not realize they're putting life at beyond risk because they're getting stuff injected in them, which is not natural itself when something has to go in you. You get what I'm saying? That don't even make sense. If you look at it from a pedophilic version, that's what it is. Like, so we starting to see how they play with pedophilia and shit inside the same religions. As in why you always have some little Jew boy getting touched on by the pastor of Christ or the brother of the church. You get what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Like, so we understanding how this shit actually go, man. But at the end of the day, I can tell now, I'm cooking their ass. They don't even want to let off. Because normally they play with the algorithm a certain way. And a lot of people might not understand that. So the ones that did show up or come through this type of stuff, man, I appreciate the support. Because at the end of the day, we're not going to know you in here. Because they going to keep playing with the numbers. They'll knock that bitch to 0, 27, 32, break it back to 1, back to, man, they be doing all type of junk. And I understand that people could, click off, click back on and stuff, but y'all got to pay attention to the preciseness of it and how it is. I'm monetized. I'm green on my channel, so I don't have nothing holding me back. So y'all got to hold it back in a different way. If I'm monetized and I got all this stuff going, why would you hold a channel back that would be possibly helping y'all money? Oh, you know why? Because the word spread. That actually creates something different later on to where you're not able to manipulate or run things the way you want to. Look at how that even going. We went from having one ad and was getting paid this amount to now they're getting people hit with 3-minute ads that it can't avoid and all this type of stuff there, and we getting paid less. If that, probably the same amount. But just saying, like, I wouldn't necessarily know, because I don't get paid on here like that. So I wouldn't necessarily know, but I'm just going off of other content creators and shit like that of what I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying? And I can kind of see it of how it plays out. So when we talk about stuff like that, y'all, it get deep, man. For real. So when we talk about Superman, remember, Superman ain't nobody but NASA's finest. Superman ain't nobody but Bill Gates right now, aka the guy that got to save the world. So when you look at him going to Africa, going to all these places, think about Superman flying across the skies, going to these different places to help these different countries. Just look at it just like that, because at the end of the day, that's how they're gonna play it out. Oh, nobody sees every other disease that we this nigga found it out, and then we fell for it. Understand, as the people, we will fall to anything. So we do not say, hey, we're tired of our kids eating dyes. We tired of us going of people mental health getting destroyed. We tired of this stuff. It all start making a difference. It start stuff getting removed. We don't buy it. You know what I'm saying? We make them remove it. It's a sales and product. If we're not buying a product, you're not got no sales. So you can't distribute. You know what I'm saying? You can't, it ain't even no quality to it. You get what I'm saying? So that's how they like to do that. But yeah, y'all. Hold on real quick, y'all. Let me go grab some water. Leave y'all unmuted though. All right, y'all. I'm gonna take y'all to this porch with me so we can have some light. So we can have some light. But yeah, man, this junk be crazy as hell. Hold on. Gotta get some water, gang. I'm telling y'all, bro. This new sickness, that bitch got me sweating crazy. Got me dehydrated. Throat be hurting. Can't even get out what I wanted to get out. Like yesterday, I was going through it. I ain't had no water by now. I was like, oh, hell no. Nah. For real. So, back like I was saying. So when you got a whole concept of religious thoughts that been built for 300 years of energy being put into believing into a superhuman or believing into some type of human that can form and trying to come and save their life. And I want y'all to think about this. Soon as somebody go in and saying, bro, that has nothing to do with God. No, you're talking about a superhuman. Now, what makes us human? What makes that person a human? What makes them a human is the way that we communicate, the way that we think, the way that we come up with things, and the way that we, share information with each other, right? So even when on our thoughts and our emotions. Now you think about the God that's inside of our Bibles. You think about how emotional that God is. That God had emotions when a God shouldn't have emotions. So if a God have emotions and a God have thoughts like our thoughts, you get what I'm saying? As in that type of way, as in saying these lower hanging fruit or these lower emotions that do not supposed to exist unless one is not right with his mind, how the fuck is that not a human? That let us know if that God is able to share jealousy, that God is also able to share depression, and that God is also able to share regret, rebellious, you know, other things of trying to like brain torment the people, other people's life. So the way that it get explained in the Bible, think about it. It's basically it's telling you, hey, I'm your covenant, and if you come against this covenant, you're going to go against the world, and there's nothing no one in the world could do to save you, because I am the controller of the covenant. You get what I'm saying? The other, however the fuck you want to look at it, but it's the same thing. It said I'm the one playing this role and position. So if you want to look at it as in the government, as in saying one, no, it's multiple governments, but the way that you describe it as in one. You get what I'm saying? If we was to talk about, we're just saying, y'all, not saying that's what it is, just saying. If we was to say the word government, we know that we're saying it as in the plural, but we saying it singular, but we meant plural. Like we meant everybody that's in it, like, or that's with it. So it's not no one person when you say the government. When you say the government, it could be the president, it could be the people that's in the House of Representatives, it could be any of this stuff. So when we say it, it's not just saying the shit. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, this shows us how we could use the word God and talk about many gods the same way they talk. So when we talk about stuff like this, that's why I be telling y'all, it's so many ends and loops and tricks to it, to where they could get you tied up into this loopity loop system to where all everything hooked together. So when you look at the Olympics, 5 rings stuck together, look at that like the 5 pillars. Look at it like the education, the religion, the politics, the entertainment, and your motherfucking education system coming off of. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn. So when we think about jobs, welfare, health, schooling, how all that type of shit there, entertainment, like who was the big time celebrity, you know what I'm saying? What should we do next? Our religious person, belief, it all ties together. It all ties together. Whether you want to admit it or not, it's not just a media show. It all ties to fucking together. It all will help run the system of what we see today. So that's basically what I want to break down with that, y'all. This all got nighttime about this Joker, and that's about it, man. We're gonna end it there. We'll crank this bitch back up tomorrow. Hopefully everybody pull up, man. Check that out, support it. You know what I'm saying? We got motherfuckers out here. We be supporting some bullshit on the regular. So even if I don't go live that much, it at least makes sense. That's it. I'm out, gang.